My parents demanded I give my welcome party dress to my sister, who always destroys my things. ATM for finally telling the truth. It was supposed to be the most exciting day of my life. Well, one of them. It was the day I was going to be welcomed into adulthood, the day of my welcome party, a celebration of me, my achievements, and the future. For weeks, I had been dreaming about this moment. I meticulously planned every detail, from the guest list to the decor. But the one thing I was most excited about was my dress. The dress was an absolute dream, a shimmering silver gown with intricate lace, delicate beads, and a soft silk overlay. It was everything I had ever wanted. But what I didn't anticipate was how this simple dress would become the center of an emotional storm that would leave me questioning everything about my family, especially my parents' love for me. Let me take you back a few days before the party. Narrator's tone shifts to nostalgic. I grew up in a house filled with contradictions. On the one hand, my parents were always there to support me in my studies and my activities, but on the other hand, my younger sister Lizzie she was complicated. I'm not exaggerating when I say that Lizzie had a knack for wrecking things, my things. From the moment she could walk, she had an obsession with tearing up whatever I loved. I would come home from school, and my favorite books would be ripped apart, my posters on the wall half torn, or worse, my clothes slashed, often with a note on them that said something like, "I don't like this." It wasn't a phase. It wasn't something she grew out of. No, it was just part of her, and for some reason, my parents always brushed it off. But this time, when I'd ordered the dress for my welcome party, I thought finally it would be different. I kept the box hidden under my bed until the big day. It was too beautiful to risk Lizzie's chaos. The night before the event, I was anxiously getting ready to try on the dress. When my parents came into my room, I was thrilled to finally share it with them. "Mom, Dad, take a look at this," I beamed as I pulled out the dress from the box. It glittered under the soft light of my room. But instead of the admiration I was expecting, my parents exchanged a look I knew all too well. It was one of those, "we need to talk" looks. My heart sank. "We need to have a conversation," my mom said, her voice calm but firm. I felt my stomach twist into knots. This wasn't how I imagined the moment would go. My mind raced, but before I could ask what was going on, my dad spoke. "We think Lizzie needs your dress for the party. It's just a dress, honey. I'm sure you'll get another one." His words hit me like a punch to the gut. I stood there frozen. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My welcome party dress? The one I had been so careful with? The one I had dreamed about for months? And they wanted me to give it to Lizzie, the same sister who once cut up my favorite hoodie just because it had a small stain on it. "No," I said, my voice shaking. "I worked so hard to save up for this. This dress is special to me. I've been planning for months." But my parents were insistent. They said it was important for Lizzie to have something beautiful for the party, that she deserved it because she was always overlooked, always in my shadow. "It'll be good for her self-esteem," my mom added, almost as if it was a reason that should make me feel guilty. I couldn't understand it. How could they not see how much this dress meant to me? Lizzie didn't care about what she wore. She didn't even respect my things, so why did she deserve this? I was furious. But the worst part? My parents weren't even acknowledging the real problem. They didn't care that Lizzie had ruined countless things of mine. Things I'd saved up for, things I'd worked hard for. Every time I tried to explain, it was like I was speaking to a brick wall. And then, just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Lizzie walked in, all innocent and doe-eyed. "Wow, I love it," she said, her eyes already glittering with excitement, as if she knew she was going to get her way. "Can I wear it? Pretty please?" That was the breaking point. My heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. I stared at her, my eyes filling with unshed tears, and the truth, my truth, came tumbling out in a rush. "You never respect my things," I yelled, the frustration of years pouring out. "You've destroyed everything I've ever cared about, and now you want my welcome party dress too? Why should I give you anything after everything you've done?" I paused, breathless, realizing what I had just said. For a moment, the room was silent, like the entire world had frozen. My parents didn't speak immediately. They didn't even know how to respond. I could see the surprise in their eyes, the disbelief. Lizzie stood there, shocked, not fully understanding what I meant. But then my mom, with tears in her eyes, turned to me. "You don't understand, sweetie. Lizzie has had a tough time too. We didn't mean to hurt you. We just want her to feel good about herself." I felt a cold bitterness seep into my veins. "And what about me, Mom? What about my feelings? Doesn't that count for anything?" And that's when it hit me, the painful truth that had been festering for years. I had always been the good daughter, the one who followed the rules, who worked hard, who never asked for much. But Lizzie was the one who could throw tantrums, destroy everything, and still be the center of attention. My parents' love, their attention, was always so uneven. In that moment, I realized I was tired of being invisible. I had spent my entire life trying to appease everyone around me, trying to keep the peace, but no more. So I took a deep breath, wiped away the tears that threatened to spill over, and said, "I'm not giving up my dress. I worked hard for it, and it's mine. I deserve to have something that is just for me." There was a long, awkward silence. My parents didn't say anything for what felt like an eternity. And for the first time in years, I wasn't afraid to speak my truth. Lizzie looked at me, her face crumpling into something close to anger, and then she stormed out of the room. My parents didn't push back any further, and I was left with the uneasy feeling that I had finally broken free from something, maybe even from the fear of being judged. The party came, and yes, I wore the dress. It sparkled just as I had imagined, and I felt like I was finally celebrating me, truly celebrating me. And you know what? Lizzie showed up in a dress I didn't even recognize. It wasn't anything special, but it didn't matter. She didn't need my dress anymore. As the night went on, my parents and I barely spoke about what had happened, but I knew that for the first time, I had stood up for myself. And in that moment, I realized the truth. Sometimes standing up for yourself means standing alone. So, was I in the wrong for finally speaking up? For demanding that I be treated with the same respect my sister always seemed to get? Maybe in the eyes of my parents, I was. But in my heart, I knew I wasn't. In the end, my welcome party dress was a symbol of more than just the day. It was my declaration that I was done putting everyone else before myself. I had to ask myself, how many times have I let myself be silenced? Maybe, just maybe, it was time for everyone else to start listening.